I've read 16 books so far this year, and I need to talk about them. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. My name's Sam. I read books, and this is my Q1 reading wrap up. I feel like Jamie Dimon, CEO of JP Morgan, giving his Q1 earnings call, but here I am just talking about books on the internet. Very similar, me and Jamie Dimon in that regard. Anyways, I got 16 books to talk about. I'll go through, give them a quick spoiler-free review, and then recommend them to you all. Maybe I'll show you some to steer clear of and recommend some of my favorites. So let's just get into it. 16 books. We're gonna be here for hours if I don't shut up. We started off the year strong. I will stack them up. You can see my reading in chronological order as it comes to be. We're kicking things off good with Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. I loved this book. It was a good way to start the year with a classic, something that made me feel intellectually savvy. I thought the story was great. Put me in the romance mood. At the time that I was reading this, I was planning my proposal to my now fiance, so that was a good twist on top of it all. After I proposed, we then watched one of the film adaptations of it and loved that movie as well. This is just a great book. It has something in it for everyone. It's pretty funny. It's historically accurate. I felt like I learned something. It was my first Jane Austen novel as well. Very much looking forward to reading more of her work. And yeah, just a good start to the year. Was very quickly then let down by my second book, probably one of the worst books I have read. That is Black Sun by Edward Abbey. The book itself was fine. I think the author is good at what he does, writing. Obviously, that's what authors do, they write. But the main thing I did not take to is the main relationship in this book. I'll give you the quick rundown of it. We follow our main character here. I've forgotten his name because I did not like this book too much, but his name does not matter. The main character here, he is a middle-aged man, late 30s, who is sort of down on his luck, and he becomes a fire watch at a state park, and then randomly meets this 19-year-old girl, and they fall in love, and then they have this passionate love story in the middle of the woods. The writing about nature and loneliness and solitude I thought was excellent. Best I've ever read. But the premise of that, and I know it's like illegal, sure, but that doesn't make it any better. Like a 20-year age gap is probably where I draw the line. So for me, this one was a unfortunate, like, I don't know, 2.5, 3-star book. 80% of it I thought was excellent, and then that other 20% sprinkled in just sort of ruined it for me. Black Sun, Edward Abbey, would not recommend. Next on the list, this one I've never seen anyone read on the internet, and I enjoyed it. This one was called Destiny. Destiny and 102 Other Real-Life Mysteries by Paul Arant. So, Paul was a radio host back in the 80s. I got this book from my grandmother. It is her favorite book of all time. He is a radio host in the 80s. Here's a picture of him. Not sure which one he is, but he's one of them. And he did this series on the radio called The Rest of the Story, where he told these real-life mysteries. They were almost like fun facts spun up in a short mystery sort of radio sequence. They then wrote them all down in a book, 103 of them. And this is what this book is. Each story is anywhere from 1 to 3 pages. You fly through it, and I enjoyed it. There are some really interesting facts about just random things like how before the US had a standard currency, the regional banks had bills anywhere from $1 to $12 in value. So you could have a $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, $6 bill. That's one that just stands out to me, and it was a fascinating read. Learned a lot. And if you see this one in a used bookshop, definitely give it a go. Next up on the list, this one was surprising to me that I liked it as much as I did, because I'd never read a book like this before. This is called Bad All Day by Abbott Mosley. It is a self-published indie book. The author actually reached out to me and sent this to me, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. It is this, what are they called? Urban, I guess it's like an urban fiction, not fantasy, something like that. An urban, I guess it's sort of fantastical in a sense, book about this sort of struggling artist who is trying to rekin himself back and get back down to his sort of musical roots, where he started his arts sort of hobby as a whole. He wants to start this band and gives himself this ultimatum that if it doesn't make sense and if it isn't feasible within a year, he's going to call it quits. And so it's just his life journey and story as he starts his band and meets people in this sort of funky town. I thought it was pretty charming. And yeah, it's called Bad All Day. I think there's a book 2 as well, and it's very much it's not like an autobiography, but it takes like biographical moments from the artist's life and sort of puts them in this fictionalized way, and I thought it was well done. Like I said, he did send this book to me, but I did enjoy it nonetheless. So Bad All Day was the next one. And then a classic to follow. I guess we have a theme here, a classic every couple of books. Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. This was, or is, my now fiance's favorite book of all time, I believe, and well, not I believe, I know. And I read this because I planned on using it to propose to my fiance as well. It was a very book forward proposal. I've made a whole video about it, I'll link it down below. But in short, I used the scene where Joe got married to sort of prop up my proposal, so to speak. There was this whole shebang, flowers, coffee, pastries, you name it. Again, I'll link that video down below, but I read this because I wanted to use it, and it was her favorite book, and we were seeing a play about it. It just sort of this perfect storm, and I ended up loving this book. Such rereadability in it, and it's just a feel-good story where nothing happens yet everything happens. Can never go wrong with it. Little Women, Louisa May Alcott. Let's keep this gravy train going, because this is going to be a 40-minute video. Next up here, completely shifting gears, this is Winning Chess Tactics by Grandmaster Yasser Seirawan. I'm back on my chess grind, and so this was my first sort of tactics book that I read. Very beginner friendly, very beginner focused. I did enjoy it. Don't really see the difference between doing tactics like in a book versus on a computer system. People do say that book tactics and book puzzles do train your mind a bit better. I can see that. So maybe I need to pick up another tactics book, but I enjoy this as sort of an intro tactics book in chess. He has a whole series, this whole Winning Chess series, that I own the majority of it, so looking to probably pick up that next one there when the next chess book urge strikes. Highly recommend if you're at all interested in chess. Winning Chess series, I've enjoyed it up until this point. Tactics is no different. Next 2 books I read, part of this giant volume, because there are 7 books in here. This is The Chronicles of Narnia. This is all 7 volumes. I've only read the first 2, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and Prince Caspian. I enjoyed The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, but Prince Caspian sort of left me a bit to be desired. I read this during a giant snowstorm. I thought it was perfect. The Land of Eternal Winter. Let's read Narnia, and obviously I stopped after book 2. Can definitely see myself, maybe if I'm in a short fantasy read, pick up book 3 and have that be like a little popcorn book in between. But yeah, I enjoyed the first one, not so much the second one. Sort of turned me off. Who knows, maybe I will pick up 3 in the future. Narnia up next, and then up next past Narnia, probably one of my favorites of the year so far, Intermezzo by Sally Rooney. Chess, again, a common theme. This book was amazing. I like the romance element of it. There is an age gap in here, but it's less so than Black Sun. Black Sun, I think the main guy is 39, the girl is 18. And here, I think one of the main guys is 22, and the girl is 33, I think. So still pretty big age gap, but 11 years is definitely a lot less than 21 years. And it just made it more believable. You follow sort of two relationships. There's a more standard couple, and then there's like a throuple almost. And it sounds weird, but it's really interesting, really good. It tells some of these real life feelings that you don't really know how to put into words. Very much well written and makes you sort of experience them. I guess that's what books are in general, right? I guess newsflash, put feelings on paper and call it a book. That is what this book is entirely. I loved it. There's something about these, these just sort of magnum opus works by authors like Sally Rooney, Clara Keegan, things of that nature that I just adore. And yeah, the chess elements sprinkled throughout gave me some nice Easter eggs to find, and it was just amazing. I guess it sort of tells the story of this recluse chess player as he's, one, trying to better his chess career, and two, trying to find love, and doing so at the same time, while his older brother, who sort of has this know-it-all, has everything, does everything, very successful, wealthy, is having his own troubles with this throuple that he's in. Very interesting. I love this book. Check it out. Intermezzo by Sally Rooney. Let's keep this gravy train going. Next up, Office Girl by Joe Mano. This book was great. Very oddly shaped book, very square, but I enjoyed it. It is about another romance book. It is about our main girl, Odile, and she is sort of stuck in this rut of not knowing what to do. She works this seemingly dead-end corporate job, sort of job hopping, wants to reignite her spark for the arts by doing seemingly like random acts of art and calling it just that. She's sort of wants to live by the beat of her own drum. Long story short, she finds someone that shares a similar interest to her at her quote-unquote dead-end corporate job. They hit it off. The romance that ensues is pretty fun to read about. And I thought this was just a great time. It's rather short, under 300 pages. The margins are definitely on your side. Not a lot of words per page here. And it was just a good book. Check it out if you find a copy of it at your used bookstore. I definitely recommend it. It stuck out to me because it was bright pink. I'm like, I need that in my life. Here it is. It was a good book. The Season of Love, I got engaged, all that, fun stuff, romance books out the wazoo. I picked up All About Love by Bell Hooks. I thought this book was good for the most part. I think it made some sweeping generalizations that I did not agree with, which is fine. I think that's something that this book was made to do. It was made to make you think, and made to sort of be just a viewpoint of our main character here, not main character, of our author here, Bell Hooks. I enjoyed it. It had some nice details, mainly about, funny enough, like children, and how children sometimes are sort of not protected within their own families. There's no real governing rules about how to raise a child. And I thought that was just sort of an interesting point to be brought up in this book, All About Love. It truly was all about love, the love between parent and child, how you raise them, and more so than just like romantic love with a significant other. I thought those points were interesting. And yeah, check this one out. I know this one has sort of been all over the space. People either love it or hate it. I thought it was pretty good. Probably didn't love it, probably didn't hate it. I am Switzerland when it comes to this book, so check it out. Alrighty, here next up, in the spirit of engagement, I guess that's like half my books here, but I got this tiny book from my uncle. He mailed it to me after he heard the news. Stuff Every Husband Should Know. This is like a 100-page sort of gag gift thing. It's like, things you should know, like how to do the dishes, how to fold laundry. I live on my own, so I know how to do all those things by myself, so I appreciate the sentiment. It was an interesting book. There's a couple of things like home improvement wise, basic things to do, how to spackle a wall. I mean, I live in an apartment, so I've never had to do that on my own. that was interesting. I appreciate the gesture. I do like its small stature. Yeah, stuff every husband should know. Maybe common sense, but maybe not. At the end of the day, common sense is not all that common. Next up, this epic fantasy novel. I am loving this series as well as the TV show, A Song of Ice and Fire, Book 1, A Game of Thrones by George R.R. Martin. Nothing new to say here. I've been raving about this book for about the past month for good reason. Plan to pick up book 2 here probably today, actually, and very much have loved just being in this world, reading the book, watching the TV show, sort of this all-encompassing fantasy journey that I've been enjoying. And yeah, I don't know why it's taking me so long to pick it up, but I was looking for something to be all-consuming, and I have definitely found it, A Game of Thrones. Next up, this was my second blue book. Check out my recent short. I read only blue books for the month of March. Mosquitoland by David Arnold. I was supposed to read this in middle school. It's been sitting on my shelf ever since. And this book was pretty good. I think I gave it like 4.5 stars out of 5. We follow our main character. It's this coming of age story. Follow our main character, Mim Malone. She's a 16-year-old girl. Finds out terrible news about her mother, and is currently living with her dad and his girlfriend, and so sort of like soon to be stepmother. Finds out this bad news about her mother, hops on a Greyhound bus, seen here, travels across the country to visit her, and it is all about the journey and the destination as well. You know, that adage, I think I mentioned this the other day, the adage, like, it's about the journey, not the destination. This book sort of flips it 180. It is about the journey. Yes, it is also about the destination. The ending 25 pages are just devastating. Sort of ties it perfectly together. I wasn't loving it. I thought the main narrator was a little bit whiny, which I guess fits the status quo, and probably why I was supposed to read this in middle school, because I could have related to it a bit better than I am now, 10 years later. But yeah, I thought the ending sort of made up for that fact. There's this big conclusion, I will say, and it was very well done. Check it out, Mosquitoland by David Arnold. We're getting the Leaning Tower of books over here. I promise it's almost done. Second to last one here, A Man Called Ove. I've raved about this book for the past week or so, and for good reason. This man can definitely write a book. Fredrik Backman, that is. We follow our main character, Ove, who is sort of this old curmudgeon-y old man. I relate to him very much so in that regard. And yeah, it's just about this sort of neighborhood he lives in. He gets new neighbors. They sort of don't live up to the standards that he has prescribed for this neighborhood that he likes to live in, this quiet neighborhood. They do things like, driving cars in the non-designated driving area. They run over his mailbox accidentally, things of that nature. And the premise of this book is he is trying to take his own life because his wife has recently passed away, and he wants to join her in that afterlife. But it is seemingly he's coming to find that these new neighbors, these new people he is meeting, are giving him more reasons to live. There's this very profound quote at the end that says, just because someone else died doesn't mean you have to stop living, towards the end of this book. And I thought that was profound. Like, wow, there's nuggets like that sprinkled throughout the entire book. A couple of film adaptations as well. Check this one out. And last but not least here, I'm almost done with this. I will finish this up very, very soon. The Giver by Lois Lowry. I am loving this book. I had no expectations about what to expect whatsoever. Again, was supposed to read this, I think, in high school. Never got around to it. Thank you, SparkNotes. But reading it now as a full-grown adult, and am loving it. I like the way, I think I compared this to A Clockwork Orange in the way that it sort of has this made-up language. They use seemingly like words in our world for different words that they have in this utopian society. Again, almost done with it, probably 25 pages left, and am loving it. Definitely not what I expected at all. I'm sure I think there's a movie out there as well I'll need to check out. But yeah, this one is flying by. It sort of has this eerie, unsettling vibe that I did not expect and am loving. And yeah, The Giver, Lois Lowry, I am so far so good, blown away by it. Bookmark to match. If you know, you know. So that is my year of reading up until this point. 16 good ones down the hatch, hopefully many, many more to come. And we'll wrap this one up here. Let me know down below, have you read any of these books? If you have, which ones were they? Did you like them? Did you not? And let me know what have been your favorite books. Oh, some of my favorites. We'll just go through that here real quick. Definitely A Man Called Ove, one of my favorites for sure. Shout out Game of Thrones as well. Definitely recommend these two. Intermezzo and Little Women. So those would be sort of my top four. Yeah, probably top four of these 16. Man Called Ove, Game of Thrones, Intermezzo, and Little Women. Quite the eclectic group, I know, but we will leave it at that. Like I said, comment down below, what are some of your favorite books you've read this year? Have you read any of these? If so, let me know, and let me know your thoughts on them. Appreciate you watching up until this point. If you're new here, consider subscribing, give it a like if you liked it, and all that YouTube stuff, and we will catch you in the next one. But thanks for hanging out, guys.